Over the weekend, we took the boys fishing down at the local lake, Weddington. This is a lake that is just a few miles away from us, and it was so convenient that we would always go camping here every other weekend until it closed down during COVID, when all of the state parks and national parks and everything closed down. However, this one never reopened, and it just makes me absolutely furious. They've shut down the campgrounds, the community pavilion areas, the cabins, the swim area. You can still use the lake, and you're supposed to pay a day use fee to use it. However, we tried to pay their fee, and there was nowhere to leave the money, so we ended up moving to the other side of the lake where apparently it's free. However, there are no good fishing spots because it is so overgrown, and there was just one little spot here where we could actually reel in our line without it getting tangled up. Just a mess. So very upset that we still cannot use this lake. It has been closed down for almost 4 years now, and there's still tax money being collected for this, the upkeep of this park. And where's all this tax money going? I am very upset about it, if you can't tell. Isaac, have you caught anything yet?
Caught one.
Did you really?
Show mommy on the film.
Don't let it go. What is it?
Fish.
Aww. Oh, baby. All right, better put him back in there so he doesn't die.
Whoa!
Whoa! Oh, no! Get him in the water so he doesn't die. There he goes. He went. He's a little minnow. How cute.
That was hard.
That was hard. I'm just going to walk out and check the farm stand. Looks like, just from driving by, some things have been purchased, so that's exciting. I also brought out another freezer block to replace one of the ones in the cooler to make sure that the eggs stay nice and cool. It's pretty warm today. I think it's 90 or 89, so much for that fall weather that we thought was here. It's a very windy day today. My sign keeps blowing. But I think most people can tell by the fact that there's a cooler here that we're open, so even if the sign gets flipped around, they should be able to tell that we're still open. Haven't sold any eggs yet. I've got 3 dozen in here. I sold 2 bouquets. They were so beautiful. I should have taken some pictures of them when they were first put out here because they were just absolutely... I love the fall colors that are coming out in the garden right now. Oh, good. And someone actually paid. That's always a plus. For dinner tonight, we have Rotel chicken pasta. We usually use the bow tie type pasta, but didn't have any, so I used some, linguine noodles that I had left over. And so basically it's chopped up grilled chicken breast, 1 can of cream of chicken soup, a few slices of Velveeta cheese, or an equivalent, a little bit of butter, a little bit of milk, and a can of Rotel. And of course the noodles. And super good. The fog was so thick this morning on the way to take John to school that when the sunlight started breaking through the fog, it actually made it look like there were 2 suns. It was so weird. Sad? Why are you sad? Well, I don't know about Ami and why she's so sad, but I just about fainted when I saw this 5-pound chub of cheap ground beef for almost $20. I could not believe it. we pulled out the rest of the onions from the garden. Unfortunately, there were quite a few that were soft from being left in the ground too long. So, don't have quite as many as I would have liked, but what we do have is awfully nice. And then Isaac picked his watermelons. This is all the bigger they ended up growing, so I don't really know what these are going to be like on the inside. So we'll see what these are like on the inside. They may end up being food for the pigs as well. I love bread baking day. It's noon. The animals are waiting patiently, or impatiently as the case may be, to be let out. I have got them all currently locked in, and by animals I mean the horses, goats, and Maggie, the cow. They're all locked up in the small front pasture for a couple of reasons. Our neighbor who does our hay baling came and cut yesterday or the day before. I'm hoping he'll come today to finish up, but when he's here, we like to lock all the animals up so that he has free access into this back field to get through it and into the hay field. So he doesn't have to worry about opening and closing the gates behind him, because the animals, like, they know when you're opening a gate, they will be right there. And so we lock them all up, but then during the day for a few hours, usually at noon, I will let them out into our, what I call the barnyard area, which is this overgrown mess you see in here. The burn piles in there, our flatbed, you know, there's just a lot of stuff in there, and it doesn't always get mowed super nice. So it's great food for the animals. So for a few hours each day, I let them out into that so they can eat it down and kill two birds with one stone then. But right now, I'm coming out to the hay barn. I need to find some twine to fix the sheep fence. They keep getting out into the paddock that they're not supposed to be in because I'm letting it rest. And they keep getting in there because it's just barbed wire right there. So I'm going to try to run some twine up through the barbed wire. Maybe it'll close up the gap enough that they won't push through it. It's just the younger ones, because they're still small. So I'm gonna work on that today. And so that's what I'm doing out in the hay barn. We've got, you see, a few bales in here. And then this is our third cutting that we're on now, so hopefully we'll get a few more. I don't know if it'll be enough for winter though, but it might be. We'll see. Alright, so I went ahead and locked the rest of the sheep up in their little barn. Ragnar is just such a jerk. I cannot stand coming out here because he is out for blood. Helga didn't get locked in because she was still busy being distracted with food. So she got to be the first one out here into the new paddock. So basically what we do, we have 3 paddocks. The one around the garden area, this middle one, and then this back one. And then we have the alleyway here, which leads, all the paddocks are connected to it with the gate, and then they all have access through the alleyway into the barnyard area, or their barn area, where they have, of course, shelter and their water. And so right now I'm moving them into this middle paddock. They were supposed to be in this one, however the youngsters, the smaller ones, kept getting out and into that front paddock, the one around the garden space, because that fencing up there is just barbed wire in one section, and so the small sheep will still just run right through the barbed wire. It does not faze them. The bigger ones don't, but the small ones will. So anyway, I've got this one opened up now. Basically it's just a makeshift gate with a pallet. So I took the pallet off from this opening, put it over here on this opening to close that one up. So now that paddock is locked off. No one can get in that. It allows the grass to rest, the parasite cycle, life cycle to die without having animal hosts, and allows the grass to regrow. So by rotating the sheep on the different paddocks, it keeps them totally healthy. I've had no need for any kind of deworming or anything, and it keeps the grass healthy, the pastures healthy and growing. This is the hay field here. Like I said, he did cut it, and it is ready to be fluffed up and baled, or whatever they call that. I don't even know. So hopefully he'll come out and do that today, because that'll be nice to get that done. That's our third cutting for the year.
What?
Before leaving to get John from school, I wanted to check and make sure that the sheep are where they're supposed to be. And there they are in the middle paddock where they belong.